Hi, Ender. Congrats on being first. What's up, Disgracefully Yours? Hi, Captain Blades. Hi, Rebel. Wait, what broke? Oh, it didn't break. I was just hovering it. Hi, Aram. Hi, Starbuck. Henry Doodles. Bird Freak. Seraphimic. What's up? Hey, Dead Rose. Long time no see. Zuberix. Soap Cat. Yan. Fossilized Teeth. Feeling better from last time? I am feeling better. It's been on and off a little bit, which is odd.
What's up, Zach? Only 4 months away from 2 years.
Jesus. Thank you, Saxy, for the 20 months. That is crazy. No Skibidi Toilet React today. Sorry, Spider Quo.
Poggers.
Not me hoping Shark Bites makes a video on the baby shark.
Shark Bites is out there living his best life, okay? Shark Bites is an Instagram model. I don't know if any of you guys follow Christian on Instagram, but homie posts the most aesthetic, world-traveling photos that I've ever seen. He is not out here making baby shark videos. But don't worry, because you don't need Shark Bites. Why do you need Shark Bites to talk about the new baby great white when you have AVNJ to talk about the new baby great white? Didn't we already have great white pup photos? I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure these are the first good photographs. Like, officially verified, maybe, is the answer. I don't know. We'll look into it. That's the whole point of fishing in the news. You'll learn as I learn. Hey, Juju. It is exciting. When Shark Time? Chat will vote on what we do first. We have a react as well. Did any of you guys watch the Springtail video today? Hey, Venomous. Did you guys like it? It's my first, like, fully non-fish video on the channel. Like, the what animals would survive the zombie apocalypse was sort of, you know, not fish, but it had fish involved. Springtails was basically my first non-fish video. It did terrible, for the record. Well, I guess it didn't. It didn't do a 200 less 1.3K. It lost 4 subscribers. Womp womp. It didn't do that great, but I mean, you know, it'll still beat, like, it'll go over 5,000 views, which, you know, is fine. I'm not super upset about it. I've been doing some unique stuff lately, Maizute. My videos have been, I've been doing not many reacts. I mean, if you look through my recent videos, you probably can't really see. But like Springtails, what animals survived the zombie apocalypse? Invent a fish. I coded a fish guessing game. My most controversial fish opinion. Betta Fish Care Guide. There's an aquariums react. Young AVNJ, try not to cringe. Is this the rarest goldfish in the world? These fish are not in love. Don't do a fanfic. I used AI to create a new holiday, then celebrated it with chat. There's a new type of betta fish. Why the US Army is at war with the fish. I flew to France. I've been doing some good diverse content. Bro went from Megalodon reactions to the whole nature selection. I'm not there yet. Listen, I've only done a springtail video and fish videos and then one general animal video. I also kind of did a running video at one point. But I'll get there. We're going to be doing more diverse stuff. Come the summertime, I'm definitely doing some mussel videos, like diving in rivers for mussels. And I do want to sometime soon do a birding video. So there's a birding video on the horizon. We may do a weevil video on the main channel, though I will say if you like weevils, the video I posted today, the springtail video, involves a weevil. For some reason, I've been having pretty good success finding weevils in the middle of winter under logs. When I look for springtails, there's just weevils chilling there for whatever reason, which is not a thing that I thought about. I thought weevils were in their larval form right now, but some weevils live multiple years. So the ones that live multiple years will spend the winter kind of in like a hibernation state under a log. So in a few days of looking for springtails, I found 3 different weevils now. I can show you guys my weevils from the past few days. They're considered introduced in the US, OSKRP, which means they are not naturally here, but they're not currently thought to have an adverse effect on the environment. They were originally considered invasive, but they kind of have become naturalized. They're just part of the normal ecosystem at this point. There you go, chat. These are all under logs. Look, in the past 3 days, I found this one under a log. I'll open them up so you guys can see. I found a white clover weevil under a log. I found this guy under a log. And I found this guy under a log today. Just flipping logs, I'm finding weevils, which is pretty weird. I'm finding other beetles too, for the record. Logs are infinite weevil glitches. If you flip enough logs, you'll find some crazy stuff. I found a group of, do you guys know what a pauropod is? I had never heard of a pauropod. I have been going ham on INAT the past few days. A what? Exactly. What the hell is a pauropod? That's what I said to myself. And then I found one. Myriapod descendant. Yeah, so it's related to millipedes and centipedes, but I think it's neither of them. Look at this one. He's tiny, by the way, and I got photos of him walking on this log. Just vibing. And not only photos. I don't know if you guys know about AVNJ 3. This is a footage channel. Here. Look at hims. So, just flipping a log, I found a bug that I have literally never seen before. I've never seen anything in... Not only have I never seen anything... Like, if we go taxonomically... Not only have I never seen this genus, okay? I've never seen this family in my life. I don't think I've ever seen this order. I don't think I've ever seen this class. This is a brand new class of organisms to me. A brand new class of living things to me. Did it just get 100 subscribers? Because now you guys are all going there? That's funny if so. Yeah, 100 subscribers on AVNJ 3. It's just footage. I plan to post more because I've been taking good footage of bugs. I took some footage today. You guys want to see my bug footage from today? Because I found this really tiny globular springtail. Oh, shush. This thing is basically microscopic. That's how freaking tiny this thing was. It was so small. Look at him. This is so small. I can't describe to you how small this is. I kept losing it with my eye. This is a Sminthurinus. I kept losing it with my eye. Like, not in the camera. Like, trying to find it on the log, I would lose it because it was that small. See, I don't try looking for anything in Udis. How did you even notice it was there? It moved. Basically, it was a tiny speck that on the log that moved. I want to make him the tiniest hat. Now that's a video idea. Have you guys seen the Mark Rober video where he makes increasingly small Nerf guns? And then he makes like a Nerf gun using DNA or something. And that's like the smallest one he could make. Can we get someone to make a microscopic hat for this springtail and then put it on him? Would that be considered animal cruelty? It would be so funny though. I put a microscopic hat on a bug. Bro, that video would go so hard. I put a microscopic hat on a bug. God, I do not have the ability to make a hat of that size or to fashion it onto a bug, but you're welcome for the great video idea to whoever takes that. All right. Shall we do what we're gonna do today, chat? Shall we stop stalling? What would you guys like to do first? I will poll chat real quick. Question: what first? Fish in news or extinct fish react? This is the video about all like the extinct animals in North America, and it goes through all of the extinct fish in North America and talks about their story, and I thought I could react to it because I have some interesting tidbits about a bunch of them. It would get like 500 trillion views. Yeah, that'd be sick. You know what I'm gonna do that I haven't done in a really, really, really long time? In fact, I don't even know how to do it anymore. I don't even know. Never mind. I don't even know how to do it anymore. Why did Twitch just make me almost react to a pin Spider-Qua's message to react to Skibidi Toilet? All right. Wow, AVNJ 3 blowing up. Half of you guys aren't even subscribed to AVNJ 2, which is fine because AVNJ 2 is like, I should probably switch it around. AVNJ 2 is gaming stuff. I should make AVNJ 2 footage and AVNJ 3 gaming. I don't know, who knows? I just need background for knitting. Well, then you can go with either one. Right now, it looks like Fish in the News is winning. Everyone here wants to talk about... You had a baby. How many channels do you have? Well, I have AVNJ, which is my fish channel, but now expanding to other animals. I have Weevil World, which is the Weevil channel. I have Nick, which is my gaming channel with my best friend. I have AVNJ 2, which has gaming stuff that isn't involving Nick and is like speed runs and that kind of thing. I have AVNJ 3 for footage. I have Si Tu M'aimes de Mon, which is my music composition channel. I have Navidemi, which is like my lo-fi music composition channel. I have Shulu, which is my climbing channel, and then I have AVNJ Clips, which is now abandoned since Shorts came out on YouTube, but it was for clips for my stream. And then I have AVNJ VODs, which is my VODs channel. So I have like 15 channels probably. Yes, I'm very organized. I don't tend to put it, like when I start a new project, I don't like putting it on the same channel. So I usually make something new. Will there be any Weevil World videos anytime soon? If you watched the most recent or second to most recent video on the Weevil World channel, I talk about why there is not one right now. Because it is winter and finding weevils is hard. But when I do a Weevil video, it will probably be on the AVNJ channel because I'm moving all of my animal stuff to the AVNJ channel. So the Weevil World channel is probably dead other than like general Weevil stuff like specimens and cool footage and stuff. Yes, studying fish is fun and worth it if you're into it. If you're not into it, you know, then nothing's worth it. Things are worth it if you love them. You shouldn't just study something because I study something and you like the way that I talk about it. If you have genuine interest, and when you do like, it's one thing to have a general interest, but when you do the activity, you find yourself enjoying it without bounds, whatever, without qualifications, then you should keep doing it.
Poggers.
Crazy to think that just a few months ago we didn't realize baby great whites existed.
That is not true. We knew that baby great whites existed, but that's a great intro to the video. Thank you, Angie. Let's do some fish in the news, because there has been the world's first images of a newborn white shark. This has been looked for, searched for a really long time. We are going to dive into the exact details of why we haven't found one for so long, and why this is the first one that has been photographed, how we didn't know that they were a thing in general. But this is it. This is the world's first images, videos, whatever you want to call it, of a baby great white or white shark. Yes, it is like a little shark puppy. He's not, brand newborn. It's hard to get a sense of scale in the ocean. Throwback to my first ever video. It is hard to get a sense of scale in the ocean, but generally you should be able to tell he's pretty small. He's not that smooth with his navigation, but he can still swim decently well. So my guess is, this is not right out of the womb, obviously. We're not talking like this big. We're probably talking close to my wingspan at this point. I want to pet it. I want to pet it. The round head, I want to pet it. Why are so many of you want to pet the baby great white? Okay. Anyways. Wait, they're born, not hatched. That's a good question. So some sharks are oviparous. I say oviparous. And some sharks are viviparous, which means that some sharks give live birth and some sharks lay eggs. White sharks give live birth. Therefore, this shark was born, not laid. Yes, and then there's ovoviviparous, which is also a thing in some sharks, which is laying live eggs or something. I forget the exact how that one works. You gestate the eggs in your body. There's combinations. And then there's all sorts of fun things that happen in shark wombs, like babies cannibalizing each other to stay alive. Eggs in body, then live birth. Yeah, basically. So that is world's first images of newborn white shark. Let's talk about why we have not seen a white shark before. Why? I believe the first issue is we didn't even know where this happened in the first place. That was the most difficult part, right? Because if you're gonna find a baby, I'm gonna use the shark cage diving website here. If you're going to find a baby, you kind of need to know where to look. You can't just scan the open ocean randomly. And I actually don't know how. I want to look into this video. I don't know where this video was taken or how it was taken. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they just got lucky. Or maybe they finally, guessed on some breeding sites and monitored them over a long period of time. But yeah, if you don't know where to look, it is hard to find out where you might come across a baby. We did not know where they bred. We knew that they migrated for some amount of time, some distance. And there were some theories, I believe, about some islands. I believe they were tropical islands that people, or scientists, I should say, were theorizing might be the breeding grounds. But seeing large aggregations of great white sharks was very rare. People didn't know where they went to breed. People didn't even really know when they went to breed. And this is crazy to think about, that in 2024, right, because this image is new, in 2024, we did not know where sharks went to breed. We have trackers that we can put in sharks, right? Like, there are many great white sharks who are tagged with acoustic or satellite trackers, whatever you want to call it, that we know their exact location at any given moment, and still it took this long to figure out where they breed. So keep in mind, that's how secretive they are with the information. I say that like the sharks are purposefully hiding information. It's just, that's how difficult it is to find great white shark breeding grounds, because even in the advent of modern technology and tags and satellite imagery and monitoring, 24/7 camera monitoring, we still took till 2024, 2024 years after our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ The amen died. All right, anyways. Sorry. That is not it for fish in the news, because I also got recommended the ichthyological diversity of Pokemon from something called the Journal of Geek Studies, which is essentially not a real, not a real scientific journal, but acts like a scientific journal and publishes papers about interesting things. This is about basically the diversity of fish in Pokemon, and they wrote an entire Geek Studies paper on it, which is sick. They go into some background about Pokemon, non-monster, whatever. And then they classified them taxonomically, okay? So you've got the chondrichthyes, which are the cartilaginous fish. So we think of like sharks and rays and skates. You got the Gnathostomata, and then you've got the Petromyzontida, which are like lampreys. I didn't even know there were lampreys in Pokemon, but apparently there are. Then Osteichthyes being the bony fish. These are like the most common that most of these have. And they have classified them all into families. Families and orders. So let's go down the list. Horsey, Seadra. They've put them under, wow, they've even classified them down to genus. Hippocampus, the genus of seahorses in Synathidae. So that makes sense. So they are seahorses, actually. That's pretty easy. Goldine is a goldfish, Carassius auratus. Interesting. They're saying Sea King is also a goldfish with a horn, okay? Magikarp is a common carp. I might have to doubt that one. I know it has carp in the name, but there's no way Magikarp is just a common carp, right? Chinchu is a type of football fish. Okay, so that's like the deep sea angler fish. They've put lantern and Chinchu, which makes sense. The whole like overhanging to attract prey light thing, that is pretty common in the football fish. They've put quillfish and diodon, so they've put tetradontiforms. They are pufferfish, which makes sense. Quillfish do look like pufferfish. Remoraid is an interesting one. They've put them as remora, as suckerfish, but they're not shaped like suckerfish at all. Remoraid in the original game, right? In Pokemon, this is not shaped like a remora. So just because it has Remora in the name, they put it in Remora, which is interesting. Mantine is a manta ray. That makes sense. Kingdra, wow, they gave it its own taxonomic. Wait, no. Oh, they're saying it's the common sea dragon. Kingdra's a common sea dragon. Makes sense. Carvana is a red piranha. Sharpedo is a shark. They did not go any further than that. They just left it at Carchariniforms. Barboach is a pond loach. Interesting. Misgurnus. We have invasive Misgurnus in New Jersey. Misgurnus angelicaudatus. The pond loach, Chinese loach, weather loach. There's a bunch of different names for them. Pretty cool. I always liked Barboach. Wishcash is a catfish. Sumsilurus in the family Siluridae. Interesting. So a pond loach from the Sapriniforms becomes a catfish from the Siluriforms. Interesting. They put Feebas as a largemouth bass. Oh, I have to disagree. There is no universe where Feebas from Pokemon is a largemouth bass. I could definitely find a better fit than a largemouth bass. I know it has bass in the name, but even a smallmouth would have fit better. I'm going to have to officially disagree with that one. And then Milotic is an oarfish. Interesting. Huntail's a one jaw. That makes sense. Gorbis, they have as a snipe eel. I guess I see it. The shape of the face certainly makes sense. I can see that. Finyon is a freshwater butterfly fish. I don't know if I've ever seen a freshwater butterfly fish. Freshwater butterfly fish? Oh, like they're Amazon. Yeah. Those things. Are they Amazon? Oh, they're African. Yeah, I have seen those before, actually. Basculin is you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Feebas, this ugly motherfucker, is a largemouth bass. But Basculin, the green bass-shaped two dorsal finned Pokemon, is a piranha. Two dorsal fins. I have to question the legitimacy of this paper. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Geek Journal. I think I think I'm going to have to question the legitimacy here. I don't think that we can let this paper stand. I don't think that this paper can be legitimate and hold up. I'm sorry. My peer review is this is wrong. This is not, that doesn't make any sense. Alola Mola is a sunfish, makes sense, has Mola in the name. Tynamo is a sea lamprey. Oh, interesting. Is Tynamo meant to be a what are they called? Amacete? A larva of a lamprey? I did not know that. Then you've got Electric and Electros being lampreys. That makes sense. Stunkfisk, they just put as a flatfish in general. They didn't bother to get more specific. Skrelp is a sea dragon. Dragalge is a leafy sea dragon. Wishy Washy is a Pacific sardine. And then Bruxish is a reef triggerfish. I've never seen these. These ones are new to me. What is a Bruxish? Interesting. That is a dumb looking Pokemon. I have not played any of the new Pokemons. And that is all of their classifications for the various Pokemon. Pocket fishes, as they call. 34 fish Pokemon were identified. They got 18 down to species, 22 to genus, 20 to family, 18 order, 3 to class, and 2 to super class. Oh, they go into their explanation for each. Okay, I'll give them a few of them. I have to know why Basculin is a piranha. Why would you ever be a piranha? Two forms of Pokemon Basculin seem to have been inspired by fishes such as piranhas. Piranhas are predators with large jaws. No! Just because the jaw is shaped like that does not mean piranhas have one dorsal fin. Basculin has 2 dorsal fins. It has bass in the name. You guys called a freaking Remoraid a Remora just because it had Remor or whatever in the name. But this thing, because it has bass in the name, ridiculous. I mean, this paper is very cool. My God, they did typing. They split everything by genus. This is a damn near serious paper. This is crazy. That's really cool. I mean, I love people. One of my favorite things in life is people putting way too much effort and design into neatly organized things that did not require being neatly organized. Could you do it better? Yes, absolutely I could do it better. It would take me some time, but I absolutely could find better fits for a lot of these. At least more specific. Like, this is just lazy. Calling this just a flatfish. This is probably a tonguefish, man. It looks like a tonguefish. No, I'm not going to do it. Not at least right now. Maybe if people want me to classify the taxonomy of the fish in Pokemon in the future, I will maybe do it. But I think I did a fish Pokemon tier list at one point, and it was one of my worst performing videos ever up until that point. Which is funny because nowadays I think that video would be like #1 on my channel recently. Let's see, fish Pokemon tier list. Oh my God, this was an incredibly bad performing video for me. Like, I remember this was like 10 out of 10, which is the worst of your last 10 videos. It did so poorly and it has 130,000 views. That was my bottom. That was my holy shit, this video is doing terrible. Meanwhile, you've got my 4,000 view video from 9 days ago. That's hilarious. That video, which was an all-time low for me at the time, is nearly 50 times better than the current videos. And yet, I feel like I'm enjoying YouTube more now, if that makes sense. Especially being able to branch out regionally is pretty cool. Will you include the baby shark's name in the video? Baby shark has no official name. Just because you guys decided it's called Gerald does not mean that it is called Gerald. You do not get the final say on that, unfortunately. And you're all spelling it different, which just does not help. I said Bruce. So even amongst the, 50 people in chat right now, even amongst that, you guys don't agree on the name of, not only do you not agree on the name, but even within the 50% of you who think of one name, you all spell it differently. Do you guys know what a scientific consensus is? You suck at this. I'm sorry to say, you guys suck at this. It's Gjherald. That's gotta be it. Geralt. Oh my god. We're getting Witchered on now. All right. I have a react. So I actually, admittedly, I watched a good bit of this video on my own. This is mapping every extinct animal from North America. And I thought this was an incredibly cool video. Basically, I thought that he was going to be really broad and just kind of talk about, like, I don't know, very general extinct species and stuff like that, like maybe large things that people care about, like ivory-billed woodpecker or whatever. But I was pleasantly surprised when I watched the video. He actually talked about every extinct animal from North America. He goes into all different sorts of groups and he gets all the specifics down, and I got to learn a lot about fish, which is really cool. So I thought we would watch the fish section together and talk about the things, because I know a decent amount more than these books might know about some of these species, and I have some cool anecdotes about a lot of them. So let's learn about all of the fish that have gone extinct in North America in recent times.
The next chapter of this book we're concerned with is the extinct fishes of North America. I'm actually really glad this section was included, as otherwise I'm not sure I would have thought to look into it on my own, as fish aren't really what I think of when I imagine animals living within a continent. I guess what I was forgetting is the fact that this landmass hosts a series of Great Lakes, amounting to one of the largest freshwater ecosystems anywhere in the world.
Yes, but I don't think any of the species that have gone extinct are from the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes, all in all, are not that diverse. Like, tiny streams coming off of the side of mountains in Tennessee are 10 times as diverse as the Great Lakes are in terms of fish. So when you think of our biological resources and you think of fish in the United States, you shouldn't be thinking of large water bodies. Ironically, the smaller the water body tends to be the more diverse, because things are separate.
It was here that the longjaw cisco, the blackfin cisco...
Oh, I stand corrected. There have been fish that gone extinct from the Great Lakes. I forgot about cisco. Cisco are a very interesting fish. I've never seen a cisco in person myself. I want to someday. There's a lot of different species of cisco all across the world. They're like if you Google the word fish, they just look like what the word fish looks like if you Google it. And they're really well adapted to living in these giant lake and cold environments. So they were in the Great Lakes. They're in a lot of more northern lakes in Canada. I believe they're in Russia in certain forms. There's one in Alaska called a sheetfish. Do they taste good? I don't know.
The deep water cisco, the short-nosed cisco, and blue pike once swam.
Blue pike is an interesting one. I've always wondered, is blue pike is a crazy story. I don't know if you guys know this. It's like related to walleye, related to sauger and walleye. And it was like abundant. It was like a bluish walleye that was abundant in, I think, the Great Lakes and the Northeast as a whole, and now doesn't exist anymore. They're just gone. They're fully extinct from existence. But they were around not that long ago. I'd have to look up exactly when. But they went, yeah, listed as an endangered species in 1967, was declared extinct in 1983. Bro, my grandmother was nearly alive for this thing being described as a species, becoming endangered, and going extinct in one lifetime. Like, this is it's a really cool fish that was like largely commercially important and was really abundant, which is crazy to think about, the fact that we made it go extinct. It reminds me of the, what's the pigeon that was incredibly abundant, or maybe it was a dove that was just, is it carrier pigeon that was stupidly abundant and somehow we made it go extinct? Passenger pigeon. Yeah, passenger pigeon. That was one of the most abundant birds in the world, and we made it go extinct. Did they die to overfishing? I believe so, yeah. So it's very sad. These blue walleyes should still be around now.
But as American and Canadian colonists settled along these shores, they polluted it, introduced new parasites like the sea lamprey, and what started as subsistence fishing turned into a commercial fishing industry, causing many fish populations.
Interesting to think that sea lamprey might have had a case here. Sea lamprey are like debatably native along the East Coast as they come up from the ocean, but they've been introduced to the Great Lakes and they live now fully freshwater lifestyles. And those are like the parasitic guys that suck onto the side of fish. Interesting to think they might have had a part in it.
To collapse. In 1957, as many as 26 million pounds of blue pike alone were being hauled from these waters every.
That's ridiculous. In the 60s. What is that, 60 years ago? There are millions of pounds of this fish being caught. Now there is zero. The fish no longer exists in the world and we can't get it back. Millions of pounds 60 years ago. A normal like lifespan ago, there were millions of pounds and now there's none.
Though by 1959, just 2 years later, that had dropped to 79,000 pounds. And 5 years after that, only 200 pounds were caught. Soon enough, none could even be found, and by 1983, the blue pike was declared extinct. Sharing the same waters, the story is essentially the same for all the different Ciscos that once lived here as well. Beyond the Great Lakes, however, the Mississippi River was also heavily industrialized, and pollution combined with overfishing led to the disappearance of the hair-lip sucker. However, water resources.
Is that a moxostoma or a catastomus? I don't know, but I think we have lost a lot more suckers than we know about. Because keep in mind, for something to be declared an extinct species, we either need to have already defined it as a species and then it goes extinct, or we need to have a specimen that later we find out it went extinct and we have a specimen that we can define it as a species, right? So that's a very difficult range to be in, right? Because science is fairly new, especially like taxonomy and ecology and describing species well and describing lots of species, not just based on what they look like, but on other things, is a very new thing, right? Like the blue pike was only described in what, the 1920s? So it only had a period of like 40 years from being made a species to becoming endangered. So things like the suckers, I feel like we've lost a lot more than we know about. Long before we even knew the difference between like the, 20 species of moxostoma sucker that are all across the United States, I bet there were probably 40 that went extinct before we started studying them and their genetics and really looking into the morphology.
Sources along the Mississippi are rather abundant thanks to the amount of rainfall the area receives, and the rivers that have suffered the greatest levels of disturbance are those that run through the more arid regions of the continent, as humans' demand for water put far greater strains on these water supplies. One such example is northern Mexico, where the Rio Grande has lost 3 species of shiners, plus numerous subspecies. The Cerro Potosi Spring System lost 3 species of pupfish, and the Paras.
Sad. Pupfish are like I will say, I mean, although pupfish are going extinct right now at a rapid rate because of us, pupfish are destined to go extinct. I suppose everything in the end of time is destined to go extinct, but pupfish are really a weird product of the current world ecosystem, that these things can exist, that they can just survive in these like tiny desert extreme environment pools. But in reality, pupfish, like as soon as that dries up or something about the ecosystem change, they're dead. Are those fish endemic to those areas? Yeah. I think these 3 species of pupfish only lived in this one like pool system. Basically, if you went to this one pool system, you could catch 3 pupfish that existed nowhere else in the world. Yeah, it's crazy.
Valley lost the Paras caracoden, the Paras pupfish, and the stumped tooth minnow, all in large part due to irrigation projects. As we learned earlier,
I'm glad the Devil's Hole pupfish still lives. Devil's Hole pupfish get the most publicity, but Devil's Hole pupfish are not the only one in the United States. They just get the most publicity. If you look at pupfishes in the United States, specifically like California to mid-Texas, We have a bunch. The Amargosa pupfish, Death Valley pupfish, Desert pupfish, Sonilleta pupfish, Comanche Springs pupfish, Devil's Hole, Red River, Pecos, White Sands, Owens, Conchos, Lund Springs, and Carbonara pupfish. These are only like existing in one pool. Like if I go to this specific one, this exists in one pool in Texas. In Devil's River, the Conchos pupfish is in one little pool, this species. Like this, we give a lot of publicity to the Devil's Hole pupfish, but there's a bunch of species of pupfish that are just one tiny little spot. Yes, iNaturalist is free.
Here, the draining of Lake Texcoco was catastrophic for everything living within it, especially the fish endemic to its waters, which included 3 undescribed species of Mexican dace. The nearby Lake Chalco was also...
That's what I mean. We drained a lake for I say we, you know, Mexico, whatever, however many years ago, drained a lake for agriculture before these 3 species ever even had the chance to be known to science.
Drained, causing the plateau chub and Indo-Raic chub to lose their only homes as well. The same happened
5 species
to the Lago de Magdalena, causing another fish species, the Opal alatoca, to disappear.
6 fish species gone from existence that probably existed in my grandmother's lifetime, if not in my great-grandmother's lifetime, due to draining water sources to do agriculture.
Here. Besides that, the Alberca silverside disappeared from the Rio Lerma.
That's a crazy unique one. A silverside. You can argue about like losing dace or shiners or pupfish, but that's a very unique silverside.
Durango shiner disappeared from the Rio Tunal. The same is true of the Ameca shiner from the Rio Ameca. The graceful Priapella is no longer found in the Rio Mozorongo, and the least silverside is gone from La Mencinta Spring, all of which were drastically drained to support local agriculture. This pattern holds true in the United States as well, as it's within the already water-stressed Great Basin where the Paranagat spine dace disappeared from Paranagat Lake.
That's so sad. It's one thing to think about Mexico, and it's like, for me, it's like it's a country that's ecology is outside of my control. Hi, Squiggles. It's a country that's ecology is outside of my control, and I mean, it's not like the United States is within my control, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm an American ecologist. I have no... It's easy to think of the U.S. as, like, ecologically, not, like, in terms of preservation, superior. Like, doing more than other countries in terms of preserving native species. And then you've got something that's this cool. A spine dace. We had a spine dace living in, I think, one lake in the U.S., and it went extinct.
Las Vegas dace disappeared from...
There was a Las Vegas dace. There was a dace where we built fucking Las Vegas, where you go and gamble and get married overnight now.
From the Las Vegas Creek, the Grass Valley spectacled dace disappeared from Callahan Creek.
That's another sad one. There was another Rhynicthes. If you guys probably near you have like an eastern or western black-nosed dace, there was another Rhynicthes way out on the west coast that went extinct.
And the Ash Meadows poolfish disappeared from the Ash Meadows pools.
And there's a pupfish that already went extinct.
Nearby in Utah Lake, both the June sucker and the Utah Lake sculpin are no longer found as well.
Heard about that one. There's right next to each other, there's the Bear Lake sculpin and the Utah sculpin that are endemic to that specific lake. Sculpin that are only in that specific lake. And I believe the Bear Lake sculpin's still there, but the Utah one is not.
3 months of money gone.
Thank you, La Dead Rose. Thank you for your service. Sucker looks so cool. I'm telling you, we've lost a lot more suckers than we know.
Then there are loads of individual cases, such as the Snake River sucker from Wyoming, the Miller Lake lamprey in Oregon, the thick-tailed chub in California's Central Valley, or the Clear Lake splittail. Arizona lost the Monkey Spring pupfish, while in Texas the Amistad gambusia disappeared from Goodenough Spring. The San Marcos River lost its gambusia as well, and the same happened to the white line top minnow in Spring Creek, Alabama.
This is a crazy one. I talked with my friend Jared when we were in Alabama. This happened because the fish was discovered in a spring, okay, but it was on private property. And this guy decided that he wanted to develop the property. And because there were no basically protections on the fish or the native ecosystem in general at the time, the guy just developed his property and destroyed the spring. And so the fish is only the place in the entire world that that fish exists. The only place is just gone.
The Skiat.
Fuck that guy. I don't know. Can you really blame the person? Do you think that he thought that this little killifish was worthwhile when he could, you know, build a life for himself by expanding, you know, using his land better? You can't, like, I think blaming the individual is useless, right? Like, it's up to the government to put in laws that protect our animals. You can't expect the individual person to care about every individual organism and do their do the conservation effort, especially at the detriment of their own, you know, their own life and their own well-being. It's up to a greater, you know, larger organism, larger body to do that. He still single-handedly extincted a fish. That's true. That is probably one of the few cases in existence where one person caused a species to go extinct single-handedly, and not indirectly. Not like, you know, this person led our country to increase fishing efforts on the blue pike and thus the blue pike went extinct. This is just one dude who caused it to go extinct. This is like if I went to that one cave in Alabama where there's that one cave crayfish and just like dumped some oil in the pool that they live in. It's just like you single-handedly caused it.
Mad Tom only lived within the waters of one tributary to the Ohio River.
Yeah. I originally, this is a fun fact, one of my first ever videos on YouTube was going to be searching for the Scioto Mad Tom. The Scioto Mad Tom was declared extinct not that long ago in, you know, this tributary of the Ohio River, and they still search for it occasionally. I think they've given up more recently, but they still did seining. That was one of my first videos, was I was going to fly to Ohio and work with an ichthyology researcher there to look for the Scioto Mad Tom. Because imagine if I found an extinct species. Imagine the YouTube video that I would have gotten, the cred, the content, but it didn't end up working out.
The Maryland darter hasn't been...
That's a crazy one. I'm working on a fish conspiracy theories iceberg, and let me just say that the Maryland darter is at the heart of a lot of conspiracy theories when it comes to fish. It's hard to explain, and I don't want to give too much information because I will be making that video, but the Maryland darter, I think the Maryland darter is the closest extinct species to me. The closest species to go extinct to New Jersey, and it's very interesting.
Been found since 1988. Finally, the silver trout.
Yeah, it was found in 1988. So the Maryland darter was found not that long ago. There is still maybe a little bit of hope the Maryland darter is around.
Once lived in only 2 ponds in New Hampshire, but introduced trout species have since edged them out here. In total, that's 43 species of fish to have disappeared from North American waters, mostly within just the last century. However, more than just...
That's crazy. So yeah. That was a great video. Thank you, Atlas Pro. That video as a whole is extremely entertaining. He goes over every animal from North America that went extinct. I assume when he says animal, he's being a little bit loose with the definition and not including like micro inverts and such. But really cool video, really cool mapping. It is sad to think about all the species that we have lost over time. That is going to be it for me today. My voice hurts. I'm still recovering and I have some things to do, but I appreciate you guys watching and I hope you enjoyed today's videos. Have a great day.